Whenever you feel an uncomfortable emotion, I guess the people that I can really relate to when I say this is Christians, right? So here's how I want to put this, right? Whenever you feel an uncomfortable emotion, maybe unnecessary guilt, maybe feeling disrespected in a sense, maybe feeling whatever, any uncomfortable emotion, fight or flight based emotion, right? Never abandon God, but in an experiential way, right? I don't mean a guy in the sky. I mean, don't never abandon your higher mind. And when I say that, never abandon reality. Because for me, I want all my emotions coming from reality. But every now and then, I'll have emotions coming from me that have nothing to do with reality, that are ineffective ways of being. Now, a lot of us have to identify which emotions are inefficient first and let go of them in the moment to separate yourself from it. Because here's the deal, right? You want to separate the inauthentic emotions from your ego, from reality, from emotions from reality. You want all your emotions coming from accurate reality, which is really just connecting to God. Because I'm telling you, like, God, the universe will reward you if you have an objective way of viewing things. But if you want to go with your knowledge, you want to go with what you think, you want to go with how you feel, you lose awareness. You lose yourself. You lose the real you. And most people don't know who and what they really are at the end of the day. They think they're just the ego. They think they're just fight or flight emotions they feel the need to suppress. Their insecurities, whatever you want to call it, insecurities, limiting beliefs, fight or flight emotions, childhood trauma, right? But in the moment, be careful with childhood trauma, the word childhood trauma, because never blame your childhood. Realize that it's these fight or flight emotions you carry around with you that you need to acknowledge and let go. And because that's the thing, the child experiences feeling abandoned. And they grow up feeling abandoned, projecting that onto relationships. So you have to separate the inauthentic emotion from reality. But first you have to acknowledge that you do in fact experience that. And that's why you can get trauma bonded. That's why you can get obsessed with someone who doesn't even like you. Because you feel not good enough, you don't want to be abandoned, so you run to the person that abandoned you, and you make yourself not good enough. That's why people go back to abusive, relationships, and it's crazy. But overall, just build that connection to real life, objective emotions, rather than the emotions from your ego that make you dissociate into your mind. Because a lot of us will have these emotions turned on. We won't know they're bad. We won't acknowledge them. But we'll have like rumination. We'll think to ourselves. We'll try to deal with the emotions by thinking to ourselves, trying to justify it in reality, trying to make sense of how we feel. Meanwhile, these emotions have nothing to do with reality. So a lot of times we'll project it onto people, circumstances, certain things, relationships, but it's really just coming from us. And that's why we get stuck within these relationships. And, all the unfavorable outcomes we get ourselves into. So that's something important that I've been realizing, is keeping that connection to God, consciousness, aka objective emotions that have to do with reality. And I think the exercise that helps me is just making sure I'm not in my head, making sure that I'm not listening to how I feel in a real way. The world tells you, listen to how you feel, follow how you feel. But how could fight or flight emotions of feeling abandoned as a grown adult be a good compass for your life? How could the fear of the sensation of failure be a good compass in life? Nah, that shit's ruining your mental compass. You feel me? So I'm not saying ignore how you feel. Definitely don't ignore how you feel, but acknowledge how you really feel. Acknowledge your emotions. And then let go of the inauthentic nature of your emotions that confuse you, which is already identified: the abandonment, the feeling not good enough, the feeling broken, the feeling, invisible, right? It's all these different emotions people experience that have nothing to do with reality. Just because you feel abandoned as a grown adult doesn't mean you're abandoned. Just because you feel not good enough, you may experience it, but it doesn't mean you are. So that's why you got to get to know yourself.